Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It is Rose Bouquet. Please hit like and subscribe, and let's go ahead and get started. Today, I'm going to be discussing two things, which is the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial and also Emma Chamberlain's last podcast. It's going to be a good one. Let's go. So, as we all know, Amber Heard lost the trial. Now, I don't think that comes to a surprise to many people. And the only people it seems to have surprised is her lawyer, who's going on morning shows and digging up and keeps talking about the UK trial and this and that and the other. My thoughts are, I would have came back with the same exact verdict, and I'm a woman. The reason is because, well, Amber Heard said it herself. She said, what kind of domestic violence survivor calls a paparazzi magazine to take pictures of them? And she did. The guy that worked at TMZ was on trial and said they got tipped off to go to the courthouse and take pictures and what side of her cheek to take pictures. And I mean, that was just really, that was awful. And he even said that they don't hang out at courthouses. And I believe that. Like, paparazzi people, they don't hang out at the courthouse. That'd be a very boring day. They have to be tipped off. And the only person that could have tipped them off that Amber was going there is Amber herself. So, that was just really telling. I think that really spoke. That's it. You don't call the paparazzi when you're going to get a restraining order. I mean, that's just wild. And so and then the next day she had a picture with no bruise on her face, that she wasn't wearing makeup. Okay, I'm a woman. I can tell when somebody's wearing makeup. She wasn't wearing any makeup that day. And it's just crazy to me. It's like, she just sounded so awful on her testimony. It was just so over the top. I actually had to turn it off several times because it was so bad. And not bad in the way of like, it was just bad because it was like, it was forced. It sounded like she was lying. It wasn't like listening to any of the other people testify. It was cringy. It was really bad. And so, unfortunately, you just can't do that to people. And the truth of the matter is, and I've told many people that, is Me Too, the Me Too movement, that's only for celebrities, okay? You're not going to be Me Tooing a lawn maintenance guy or somebody that works in a regular office at the water department or Home Depot or something. You're not going to be doing the Me Too movement on them. If somebody commits an act of domestic violence on you, you're going to call the police. That's what you do. You call the police and you file a police report. And that's it. That's what we do here in America. We've always had those options in place. Now, all these people, like I said, that Me Too, it was just kind of a different situation. It's almost like, with the Harry Weinstein situation, he was going to make them movie stars. So they felt like they had to do that. And I understand that's a completely different situation, but I'm just saying in general, she didn't set back anything. We've always had domestic violence laws in America. We just do. So if somebody hits you, you call the police and you file a report and they take them to jail. There's no fluffy wuffy about it. That's it. And so, all this about, set back the Me Too. Well, again, Me Too is only for celebrities. The only people that can Me Too someone is someone famous, because the reason there is Me Too is to ruin people's careers. right? It's like, oh, me too. This person did this to me. And then they lose their job and everything without even having a trial. We've saw it several times happen with many celebrities before they even have a trial. It doesn't matter if the woman even filed a police report. The men get dropped from projects and everything. And I understand what they're trying to do. I just don't agree with believing every woman, okay? Because of this. This can happen. Now, it's rare, but it can happen. And so, and then also, you know, I'm going to bring it up. The Evan Rachel Wood, Marilyn Manson situation. I have no doubt in my mind that Marilyn Manson was abusive during that relationship. I believe her. The problem is that she's outside of the statutes of limitations. So the law is just not on her side when it comes to that. Now, she did go and she got it extended from 3 years to 5 years. That's wonderful. You have 5 years to go back and, claim domestic violence. And I think that's honestly plenty of time. I think, 1 year is a little much. 3 years is really good, but 5 years is great. So you have 5 years to go back and claim, that somebody committed domestic violence on you. But again, Evan Rachel Wood came back, I think, 10 plus years later, and you're just too late. And so she's going to end up having to pay Marilyn Manson defamation money. That's just the way it works. I mean, you have to follow the law. The law specifically has these limitations in place. Now, the only one that doesn't have a limitation is murder. So murder, you can come back and, it doesn't matter if it's 40 years later. That's why you see people from the 1970s and then they go, like somebody in their family will go get that DNA test, the Me&3 or whatever they call it, or the tests they do for their DNA to see what their background and ancestry is. And they catch people that way. It's really a DNA website. So, that has no limitations, but certain things do have limitations. And, I can understand because, you don't want, I understand why they do that. Let's just put it that way. I mean, because now it's just like to go back and try to get evidence from 10 years ago and then random pictures and to even prove that was even from that time frame is going to be very, very hard. She can't prove it. She can't. It's too much time has passed. Marilyn Manson's married now. He's been married. He's been with the same woman for like years. I think Evan Rachel Wood, she kind of screwed up, and that's the way it is when you're famous, and even for regular people. I mean, regular women can't go, can't do it either. And again, like I said, you're not going to Me Too somebody that works at Home Depot. That's just ridiculous. They're not famous. Nobody cares, and unless you call the police and file a police report and get them arrested right away, you're not going to win. And you can be in a lot of trouble for coming back around and talking about somebody later. And that's the law, and I don't make the laws. And like I said, Evan did go back and get it extended 5 years. And I think that's plenty of time to go back and claim domestic violence when you should have did it during the relationship. I mean, if somebody's hitting you or doing things you don't like, you should report it right away or leave right away. And for people to say, well, and that's a choice you make. If you're like, well, I understand, the cycles of abuse and everything like that. I've I've been in it. I've been in abusive relationships myself. So I know exactly how it works. And I mean, at some point, you just have to take responsibility for yourself, and you have to say, no, this isn't what I want. And eventually, I mean, they go away. They don't want somebody that isn't, abusive people don't want a strong woman. They want someone that they can push around. And, usually they're in the dark triad with their personalities. So, um, you know, they don't really want someone that's independent and smart and funny and witty. You can typically spot an abuser. They're not even fun to be with. So I don't know why people stick around with them, but maybe for money sometimes, I suppose. But anyway, I just, now that this has happened, I really think Evan Rachel Wood is going to lose her case. Because there's absolutely no way to prove it. It's been too many years. Because you can take a picture of anything, and we don't know. And I'm not saying he didn't do these things to her, because I completely believe that, these things happened. But is some of it exaggerated? I don't know. I don't, and why she came out now and did all this, I have no clue. I don't really know. It's just very odd, the whole thing. And that's it. You have to file the police reports. You have to follow through on your end. And if you don't, then that's it. Then you got to move on with your life. You can't come. That's another thing is I don't agree with a lot of people and women and things like that. You can't blame your entire life's problems on a bad relationship. I've had several bad relationships in my life. I've had as we all have, I'm sure. You have to move forward. That's just the way life doesn't go backwards, it goes forward. Now you can be hurt by something and it can take you a while to get over it. But life always goes on, and you have to move to that next hurdle. Life stops for no one, right? Time does not stop. So all the time that you're spending trying to go after somebody like 10 or 15, 20 years later, you could actually be putting, and this is my take on the whole thing. Okay, you guys, this is just my personal take on Evan specifically. I don't understand why she's spending, and I watch her Instagram. I really pay attention to her because, I've been through it, and I just see how it looks to obsess over it, and it doesn't make you feel better. It's like, even if he is a narcissist, which he probably is, narcissists crave that attention. So it doesn't matter if you're giving them negative or positive attention. They don't care as long as they're getting attention, as long as you're paying attention to them. And that's what she's essentially doing on her Instagram constantly. And it's like, even by exposing them, you're giving them attention. Now, if she had just made the one post and named him as her abuser and followed it up with, a couple things about abuse and things like that, that's understandable, But the way she goes on and on and on her Instagram, it's too much. It's like, I feel like it's too much for something that happened that long ago. And let me explain. I watch Holocaust survivors, people that were in literal death camps. They moved on with their life. That was way more traumatizing than just being in a weird relationship with a weird rock guy. It's like they didn't have food. I mean, they were going to die. They put them, in gas chambers at any moment. It could have been you we're next. And so I hate to use that as a comparison, but I mean, they complain way less than some of these Me Too people. Everybody in life has shitty relationships. If somebody actually beat you, you should have called the police. Okay, period. Now, psychological abuse, that's different. And I get it that when you're in the midst of it, it's hard. But once it's over, it's over. And you're free. Marilyn Manson is married. He's with another woman. Um, and it's too late. And it's, you know, I don't understand what she's trying to get out of it, because she's not going to get an apology. She's not going to win this trial. And I just think there has to be something where we teach women how to heal and move forward and move on with their life, and not blame their entire life problems on a relationship from 10 years ago or 15 or 20 years ago. And keep in mind, Evan Rachel Wood has gotten married. She had a baby. She's had relationships with many people over the years. So why you would come back now and, do all this remains a mystery. I don't know if COVID just made people lose their mind and go crazy. The lockdowns, if I think she moved to Tennessee, maybe she's bored. Maybe her life is going like shit because she's single. But you're a young, famous Hollywood actress, and I don't understand why she would even be single to start with. But, happy people I just don't think they would do this. It's just like ruining somebody's life over something they did like 15, 20 years ago that you can't win in court. All the cases that those people, like that one lady that dated Marilyn Manson and had a kinky relationship or whatever, that got thrown out of the court because of statute of limitations. Okay. So Marilyn Manson's no longer a thing. I mean, he's an iconic person, not, I'm just saying he's, well known because he was so out there, but your legal ramifications are not there. So at some point you just have to just say, you know what, this happened to me. It was unfair. Think about the people that got killed in the Holocaust. Their family got killed. Of course, they can't, Hitler killed himself, so it's not like they can go back and, slap his wrist and say you were bad and I can't, at some point you just have to say, I have to move on. I have to live my life, and I have to, surround myself with good friends, family, date people that are healthy for you, that are healthy and what you're looking for in life and that works for you. I just think spending that much time trying to defame someone else isn't healthy for anyone. I don't think, it's definitely not healthy for the victim, because now the person that you said you're so scared of, now you're dealing with them now in the courts. So now you're connected in the court system. So you're continuing on that relationship instead of moving on and healing and, doing something else with your life. And she has jobs. She has Westworld and all. She's been in movies. I haven't watched Westworld, but apparently it's, some people really like it. So I just think at the end of the day, it's a waste of time. And, she says that she did it because she thought he was doing human trafficking of like minors and everything. Well, they seized his computers, and the police do not like Marilyn Manson, okay? If they could get him on something, they certainly would. This is definitely not a case of where they just don't want to find any dirt on him. If they could throw him in, they've been wanting to get him for years, okay? If they could get him on something, they would. So if they found anything in his computers, because I read where they seized his computers, if they could find anything in his computers that he was doing anything of that sort, he would already be in jail. Okay. So I think everybody just needs to move on. And I hope, unfortunately, Evan will be going through the grinder just like Amber. And she's just going to end up having to pay out because she's past the statute of limitations. She can't prove, even the police said they couldn't move forward with her. So now you're defaming someone, and I think he's going to win. So, you got to be real careful of what you say about people when you're a famous celebrity. And yeah, I don't know. That's my thoughts on that. Let's skip on. Let's go to Emma Chamberlain. Emma cracked me up so much on her last podcast. Well, I laughed a few times. It was like the old Emma, because she was like going over her first time smoking weed. And I just wanted to say that I liked it when I first started. Now I don't know what this was like many years ago. So they used to just get it off the street. Like somebody would have it and you'd smoke it. It definitely wasn't the stuff they have nowadays, but I liked it. I had a lot of fun when I was young doing it. It wasn't until I was older that I got really paranoid smoking weed. And I never felt like I had to go to the hospital. So she's definitely not a drug person. To freak out in that fashion is just really interesting. I don't know. I just thought it was funny that her story, I listened to the whole thing. It was so funny. Thank you, Emma. That was just hilarious. And honestly, I mean, I know there's people that do freak out on it, and I'm paranoid on it now, so I definitely don't do it. But when I was younger, I thought it was really fun. And, when you're young and you don't have any cares in the world, it's like, you can do drugs all day and it doesn't matter, but when you get older and you got bills and a mortgage and, things to take care of and a floor to mop and laundry to do and all kinds of stuff and bills to pay, it's like, that's when it gets scary. So anyway, I just wanted to say that I thought the old Emma seeped out in that podcast, and I would love to see her start making videos again. I think she will come back. I think she's taking a little bit of an extended break because she was just burnt out, which is fine. Take a long vacation, 6 months or whatever. I do think she will be back though, probably. I mean, if I had to guess, I would even say within the month, because Emma gets bored. Emma is a person that has to be constantly stimulated, I think. And yes, it could be on her phone. It could be, on the computer. She's not the type of person that just sits around and doesn't do anything. She plays the drums, she reads books, she's cooking on the computer, out with friends, having a dinner party, going to a dinner party, going out to eat. She's not as much as she likes to say she's laying in bed, she might be laying in bed, but she's reading books, she's on her computer, she's tweeting, or not tweeting, well, she might be tweeting on her Anything Goes podcast Twitter, but she's not just sitting there doing nothing, So I think we'll see her back in the next month or two. I really do. I hope everybody is having a wonderful day and staying cool. It's so hot out where I'm at. It's very hot and muggy. I've been cleaning my house. I'm on a little mini vacation for 4 days. So, that's been real fun, just doing some deep cleaning that I needed to do. And it's really taken a lot out of me, but I'm determined to get it done before I have to go back to work on Monday. So I hope everybody has a really great weekend. Please leave a comment below and have a good one. Take care. Bye.